take a close look at this picture right here. We obviously have a picture of New York. We can see the beautiful Manhattan skyline with the beautiful Central Park, the Hudson River, and right in the middle of the damn picture, there's this huge plateau that seems to be around 200 feet tall and has entry tunnels for ships, and on the upper deck seems to be an airport with 2 runways, some jet planes on it that resembles an aircraft carrier. Yes, everybody. Today, let's talk about one of the most stupid concepts of urban development design. Yeah, one of the most stupid proposals for making New York a mega city. The outlandish Manhattan Airport. Are you a Manhattan business professional who's tired of sitting in maddening traffic to get all the way to John F. Kennedy Airport outside of New York? Does LaGuardia seem dreary and dismal to you, and also too far away? In 1946, they had again this brilliant idea, and when I say they, I'm talking about William Secondor. He was an incredibly smart real estate man who owned the Chrysler Building, for example, as well as the Astor Hotel in New York, and he had the brilliant idea of again building this 999-acre deck, 12,000 feet long and 3.6 thousand feet wide, that would on top be able to serve as a proper airport. Down below we can see tunnels, a proper terminal for ships. As you can see, obviously highways passing down through the airport, and here, which looks like a slice of ratatouille, were the shopping centers, restaurants, and of course the actual terminal building of the airport. Yes, this is what's supposed to be once again a huge mega city mall kind of thing in the middle of Manhattan, New York, and Hell's Kitchen. An idea that quite obviously failed, but I thought, well, you know what? It might have not been that dumb at all. So already I rebuilt it in the X-Plane Flight Simulator. Yeah, of course, as you can see right here, we're right here in mid-Manhattan, right up above the Central Park, and we can see my little construction here, which sits at around 200 feet high. I don't have the tunnels built in. In general, my modeling is very crap. The buildings that stand there nowadays kind of are in our way. But that doesn't matter at all. Yes, how about we are in an A330, and instead of flying to the big JFK airport or perhaps also the LaGuardia airport, we could take a direct route into the middle of New York City indeed, with a very buggy runway. An idea that would have probably genuinely seemed smart back in 1946 when this was proposed, as planes weren't big at all with propellers, and also buildings weren't tall at all. I mean, here in the proposed drawings here of the magazine, the tallest standing thing is the Empire State Building. What am I saying? Next to all the docks of docking ships. Probably doesn't look too much like that nowadays. There's not too much ship traffic going on here for sure. Let's maybe try to come in for a landing on this runway. There we go, looking great. I mean, doesn't this seem a little bit weird? This probably would have turned New York into one of the craziest cities to exist. I mean, come on, let's try to come in for a landing. And this idea of putting like this, it's practically a huge parking garage with an airport on top. Come on, let's try to land. This idea seems so outlandish nowadays, especially now that we think of rather restricting airports for being close to the city or in the city. I mean, the sentiment of closing London City Airport or Rio de Janeiro Santos Dumont Airport or even this one airport in Stockholm, whatever it is, they don't want airports in the middle of the city because of noise abatements, because of bad air pollution, and perhaps here in this case also safety. I think that's an argument that makes sense. I mean, for sure, you wouldn't want to overrun here, right? Come on. I mean, this is practically a proper, like, aircraft carrier deck. Maybe you could employ a catapult system or something like that, where you would throw the planes up into the mid-air. That's a good idea. We see what happens if we don't really have enough airspeed. We're at 80 knots, and we're now being kind of dropped off this parking deck. Yes, please ignore that our airport is afloat. Talking about afloat, we are not anymore. We have crashed into the Hudson River, a common theme in New York. In fact, if we think about Sully, the William Secondor who proposed this idea may have been a time traveler. He might have already known, oh, within 60 years, there's going to be an airplane that's going to land at pretty much the exact spot that we wanted to put our airport, which is quite nice. So, buddy, there we go. We're dead on our A330. we can see, yes, planes can fly here. But I'm pretty sure Seckendorf knew that this was going to be an impossible project. I mean, again, the Empire Statement had already been built at that time, and it was clear that, you know, high-risers buildings were on the rise, quite literally. And so the approach path would look... Oh, you know what? This building quite resembles... Oh, no. Come on, no. We're able to pass that through here. This is a proper ILS approach. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that was not a hit at all. And right now, we're on approach to our runway, which has some buildings on it. Let's ignore that. Yeah. Talking about the impossibility of actually doing this, building such a huge construction would have cost $3 billion at that time, not adjusted for inflation. Not adjusted for inflation. No. $3 billion in 1946 money. There we go. That's a billion for you. That is a staggering $47 billion. Oh, very, very affordable project. Like, that would have been like the most expensive airport ever built. So that is great. Overall, I mean, we've been able to land just fine. I want to maybe see if we can take off properly. Come on, let me try to take off. This runway is quite wide, but not very long, but pretty much long enough. And it will probably in real life be longer than that. I mean, we've got once again a length of 12,000 feet, which is 3 kilometers of upper Manhattan pretty much lost, which is just crazy. Come on, maybe try to take off. I mean, you know, this is a cool idea, but like so impossible, not thought through at all. I mean, how would you be able to clear all of the buildings that had already been built there? What about the people that live in this goddamn thing? How much would you have to pay those for them to actually want to move out? And we're not able to take off very well here. I just noticed this is not a very long runway. All of that would definitely make a cost that are higher than 3 billion. Oh wow, that was close. Come on. Yeah, that has actually kind of worked well. Perfect. We've avoided the buildings that at that time, to be fair, haven't been built. So done. Oh yes, everybody. A concept that truly was not ahead of its time, but definitely not aware of the time ahead. Yeah, maybe with propeller planes this would have kind of worked, but Jesus, with a jet, you would have practically blown out all the windows of all the buildings in upper Manhattan all the time. I mean, the poor souls living in this thing that would be blown away indeed. By the way, have you noticed that there's 2 runway 24 left? Not only 2, but 4. 124 is missing. A perfect implementation of this concept here in the X-Plane Flight Simulator. And we've now taken off. This has actually kind of worked. I mean, yes, imagine being able to walk from Central Park to the airport to fly back home. This would incredibly enhance the travelability of New York, but at the cost of keeping New York a good town to actually go to. But yeah, perfectly fine idea. And it isn't the first, and it probably isn't the last idea to bring solutions to rethink traveling to New York. I mean, in 2009, there was a foundation called Manhattan Airport from the foundation. The website now is dead, but they had the brilliant idea of turning the Central Park into a dual runway airport by completely demolishing it and building a beautiful new domestic terminal. A petition was started with over 85,000 people signing it in 2009, by the way. Of course, it was a joke, for it is nearly impossible to build an airport where, let me tell you, one side of the runway starts here and one side of the runway starts here. Now, you know what, actually, on this side, you would be able to properly depart planes. There's not very much high rise of buildings here. That's actually quite fine. But I'm pretty sure Trump would not be happy at all about building an airport here. By the way, there are lakes here. How are you going to be able to get rid of those very quickly and very easily? That would be an immense building cost, and that would ruin the entire idea of the Central Park of having somewhat green parts inside of the middle of the city. Although this area would be big enough to build a big enough runway, but that is a project for later. Now, the actual classic Manhattan Airport, showing that humans have the confidence that, you know, that we built the pyramids of Giza and now we're able to build whatever this is, a rooftop airport. Thank you, William Seckendorf. So I thank you guys so much for watching today's urban design lesson. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, good night. Now, thank you very much to my highly supporting members like Jamie Ashton, Mike C, James DeRam, Ragings, Met RLG, Matt Fan Z, Moritz, Bellhausen, Knots Enthusiast, Shadow, New the York, Ryland Williams, Kelly Chaos, John O'Brien, and I'm addicted to Airbus A380s. Thank you.